Hi guys, welcome to the Big Basket YouTube channel. I'm Chef Megha. Hi guys, today we'll do a quick tofu stir fry. It's really easy. And what's really exciting is this actually fits into so many different kinds of dietary needs like keto, vegan, and even gluten-free because the recipe is gluten-free. So let's get into it. The ingredients are fairly simple and it's a two-step recipe. So first we make the marinade, which can actually be used for making salads or any other stir fry you might want to use. It can be stored in the refrigerator for up to a week in a glass jar, obviously airtight. And then we move into preparing the tofu and making it. So the ingredients that you need for the marinade are, you need a light soya sauce, a dark soya sauce, a little bit of vinegar. If you don't have vinegar, you could use lemon juice as well. And some peanut butter, unsalted and crunchy is nicer. So peanut butter essentially does the work of peanuts, and I don't want you to have to make your peanut butter at home. So let's get a store-bought one, super simple. And something sweet. So that sweet can come from brown sugar or honey, totally up to what you have at home. I would recommend not using white sugar or refined sugar because I absolutely hate it. So let's stay away from that. And then the ingredients that we need for the tofu is, of course, tofu. I would recommend, so in terms of tofu as well, there are this firm tofu, there's soft tofu, silken tofu. So if you're using a silken tofu as well, use a firm silken tofu or just any regular tofu, which you get in the markets in India are quite firm to use. Then we have some bell peppers. You can do a mix of colors or just one, whatever you like to do. Some onions or spring onions. So what I do is, if I don't have spring onions, then I use onions. But the spring onions, the bottom white part is really nice, so that actually works as the onions in this recipe. And of course, the top green, the pyaz patta. So we have that, and we have a little ginger garlic paste as well. And yeah, that's about it. I don't think I'm missing anything. So for the marinade, let's quickly make it. It's really simple. You just have to mix these ingredients together and whisk them in. The reason why we use a whisk is that so it's lump free, but you can also use a spatula, not a problem at all. So starting with my favorite peanut butter first. If you don't have peanut butter at home, you can just use some peanuts without the shells and without the skin, and you can just quickly give it a quick mix in the blender and use that. The next thing is a light soya sauce. So the light soya sauce actually is quite salty on its own. So I would recommend not adding any additional salt to your recipe unless you need it in the end. So do that tasting towards the end. Then of course some dark soya sauce as well. So why both? Because dark soya sauce also is a little thicker and gives it a nicer texture when you're eating it. And a little bit of the acidity which is coming from vinegar for us. And of course a little bit of sweetness after this, which is coming from brown sugar for us. Just a little bit there, about half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to get my whisk and I'm going to mix this all together. At this point, if you want to make it spicy, you can also add some sriracha sauce or like a red chili sauce if you like, whatever you have at home or not. Or even you can just add some green, just some hari mirch into your dish to still get the spice element from it. So once this is ready, this is our base marinade. Now we can actually store this in the refrigerator for a week. Use this across salads and things like that. If it's thick, which it is right now, the best way to do it is to dilute it with a little bit of water or some sesame oil. And I always recommend sesame oil while doing any kind of Asian food because that really uplifts the flavor, and that's actually the perfect oil to use for Asian cooking. We now move to making the tofu dish. So now we're going to get into the cooking of it. It's really quick. So whenever you're making Asian food, I would recommend keeping your flame on high and cooking through the dish really quickly because you don't want to overcook your food and you want to keep the flavors intact, but you also want a little bit of that crispness and texture in your food when you're eating it. So let's put on the heat on a high flame using some nice cold pressed sesame oil. A little bit of that. Wait for it to heat up a little bit, and then we put the rest of the ingredients in one by one, and then you have your dish ready. So now that our oil is hot, we know that because it's a little smoky, we're gonna add first a little bit of, I'm thinking what should we start with because I'm thinking about the texture of the dish. So I think I start quickly with the paste of ginger garlic, just a little bit of that into the hot oil. And then we're going to go fairly quickly throughout the dish. So one by one, everything goes in. We're going to start with the peppers next. And then we will move to the spring onion white bit. If you don't have that, you can also use pyaz, not a problem at all. This actually adds a really nice flavor to the dish. And while this is cooking, I'm going to quickly also chop my tofu into cubes. So that's ready. If you want to add some green chilies or some spice to it, if you haven't added to your marinade already, you can just add a little bit of hari mirch to it, which is quite nice. I'm going to get my dustbin for my chopping needs. Just use a knife, use a ketchi like me, be lazy, and just chop it over your sauteed veggies. We can add maybe 1.5. And I'm also leaving the green chilies quite fat and not cut really, really thin. What that does is the infusion of the green chili flavor just comes. It doesn't become very spicy unless you bite into one. So that's done. To this, I'm going to add my tofu. Tofu is going to get cooked for a little bit, increasing my flame now again. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is get the tofu a little bit cooked. So I'm letting the tofu touch the bottom of my pan, so it gets a little slightly brown, not too much. And all we do after this is add the marinade and the dish is ready. And for this particular dish, you don't actually need any rice or staple or carbs to go with it. This is actually really nice and filling on its own. So you can have this for like a healthy dinner if you want, or a quick snack, totally up to you. And now you'll be ready to add the marinade. For the marinade, we take a little bit of marinade depending on how thick or how flavored you like it. Some people like it very lightly flavored. You can add a little bit. If you like a little more of a dense flavor, you can add a little more, totally up to what you like. I'm going to add this, reduce my flame here to the lowest at this point, and then let this mix in. Because what will happen, this marinade will break down a little bit and nicely coat the tofu as it gets cooked. And if you feel at this point, you feel it's taking a little long, you want to add a splash of water, you can. I don't like to, so I'm not going to add some water. I'm going to be a little patient and coat all of them. I feel I can add just a wee bit more, so I will go ahead and add a little bit more. All this is happening with my flame on a low heat. Also, by doing this, I'm actually kind of coating everything and moving things around so they don't get burned. And then to this is done. To this, so at this point we can check our salt. If we need some more salt, I'm going to go ahead and check my salt and see if it's fine, because we might need some. So I'm going to check the salt here. It's really yummy. So if you're going for a dish which is a little more sweet, then you don't need salt. But if you want a little more salt in it, you can add this to dash. I will add a little bit of salt now. Another thing I would like to add is pepper. So I feel like pepper is really, like how we have a haldi, mirchi, dhania powder and all of that, pepper is really nice to have in your masala box as well, because it really adds flavor to any cuisine you cook, even Indian. As you know, we use a lot of gold mirchi in Indian food as well. And that's it, it's done. And finally, the hara pyaz, which is going to go right at the end because we don't want it to get wilted. And we still want the little crunch when you're eating it. That's it. It's ready to be served now. So I'm going to plate this now. Are you guys ready to eat? Yeah? Okay, cool. Let's do it. And I love this plate of mine. I bought this while I was traveling somewhere. It's just so beautiful and so easy to serve in as well, because it has this nice handle going. And then this is it. You can serve this like this. I like to add a little bit of sesame seeds over it. So that I'm going to do that. And it adds a beautiful crunch to your dish, and also looks beautiful presentation wise. And you can maybe, if you like, and if you have a little more spring onions left, you can just add some on top. And it's ready to serve. I hope you enjoy eating it. Should I have a bite? Maybe I will. But have a little bite. It's going to be like super hot right now. Yum. So good. I would have liked to add maybe a little more mirchi to it, but I know everyone at home, everyone who's here today doesn't eat too much mirchi, so not adding too much. But yeah, you can go crazy with a little more hari mirch or some more like chili sauce in your marinade if you like. Yeah, have fun with it. Make it your own recipe. Because this marinade can actually be your own version of it. You can add other sauces you like, for example, oyster sauce, or if you're vegetarian, then maybe a teriyaki sauce, whatever you like, right? So yeah, please make this dish at home. Okay. So please try making this dish at home. It's really healthy and I promise you everyone will love eating it. Someone like my dad who loves bahar ka khana and blah blah blah, and he shouldn't be eating all that khana. I make stuff like this for him for dinner and I promise he's so happy. He's like, not missing outside food at all. So please try feeding this to your family because it's super healthy and so easy and quick to make. Have a great day, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the Big Basket channel and hit the bell icon. If you guys love this recipe, you'll find all the ingredients in the description below. Don't forget to make it at home and tell me how it was. Have a great day. Bon appetit.